Has someone ever bragged about their flawless zombie survival plan and then proudly announced they'd head straight to the mall? Yeah, those conversations usually end with someone rolling their eyes. So, to finally put the debate to rest, I've made this video exposing the 5 absolute worst places you could go in a zombie apocalypse. Stick around, because some of these are going to surprise you. Before we dive in, let's set the rules for our apocalypse. No super fast zombies, no mutated Resident Evil nightmares, and definitely no mushroom-faced clickers from The Last of Us. We're talking classic, slow-moving zombies here. 1 or 2, you could handle them, but get surrounded? Game over. Also, you're not an action hero. You're you, just an average person on your own, carrying whatever you could grab in a hurry, and trying to not die in the dumbest way possible. Alright, now that we're on the same page, let's get into the 5 worst places to be when the world ends. Number 5, rooftops. At first glance, rooftops feel like a genius idea. You're elevated, zombies can't climb, and you got a perfect 360 degrees view of everything below. Sounds brilliant, until you realize it's actually a trap disguised as a safe haven. Here's the problem. Once you're up there, you're stuck. Unless you're planning to jump, and unless you're secretly a Hollywood stunt double. That's not ending well. And if you're on top of an apartment building, congratulations, you just turned minimal escape routes into no escape routes. Then there's Mother Nature. Rooftops offer zero protection from rain, freezing winds, blistering heat, basically anything the weather throws at you. Good luck lasting long when you're battered 24/7 by the elements. And food, water? Eventually, you'll have to climb back down. And when you do, those zombies you avoided will still be right there, patiently waiting for you. That's not a base, it's a waiting room for bad decisions. If you just realize your apocalypse plan belongs in the trash, hit that like button. Subscribe for more survival tips you hope you'll never need. And in the comments, tell me, which death trap would you accidentally walk into first? Number 4, sporting goods stores. Because nothing says bad idea quite like running straight to the same place everyone else decided to get their survival gear. Let's break down that logic. People love to claim they'd rush to a sporting goods store in the apocalypse because it's got weapons and supplies. And that is exactly why it's a horrible choice. These stores are ground zero for panic, looting, and violent confrontations. Because guess what? You're not the only genius with that plan. When all laws and morals vanish, humans quickly become the second biggest threat, right after the zombies. At that point, survival is every person for themselves. And if that means fighting you for the last ration or weapon, they will. If someone's eyeing the last baseball bat, they're not going to hand it over politely. They're going to swing it first. And here's another problem. Hope no infected made it inside before you did. Sporting goods stores are usually in busy, populated areas to make them easy to reach, which also makes them easy for danger to reach. One bite, one scream, and suddenly you're trapped inside with a bunch of gear, maybe 2 exits, and a rushing crowd. Sure, you might score a crossbow, but you'll also inherit a mob, a fist fight, and possibly a shiny new infection. Number 3, graveyard. Oh, so you thought you'd be safe surrounded by the dead? Bad news. This is literally the worst place to camp out when corpses are the main problem. Sure, the older bodies might not be breaking out coffins anytime soon, but that's not a risk you really want to gamble on. So, it's smarter to wait it out before risking a visit. Even without the whole rising from the grave cliche, the graveyard environment is a nightmare. You've got headstones, statues, uneven walkways, and loose dirt. Basically a perfect obstacle course for tripping the moment you need to run. Visibility? Terrible. Shadows everywhere and plenty of hiding spots, but not just for you. Any one of those spots could be concealing a zombie just waiting to lunge. Then there's the problem of nightfall or bad weather. Without proper shelter, you're exposed to the elements, and with no lighting, your chances of getting caught off guard skyrocket. Once you run out of supplies, you'll have to walk quite a distance to reach the nearest source of food or water. And let's face it, graveyards don't exactly come with stocked pantries, clean drinking water, or secure hideouts. Oh, and did I mention? They're creepy as hell. Number 2, hospitals. You'd think a hospital might be the perfect spot. Medical supplies, shelter, maybe even trained survivors who could patch you up. But think about it. Where's the first place infected people are taken when an outbreak begins? Exactly, the hospital. Before anyone realizes it's the zombie infection. Every person showing symptoms ends up here. That means while you're walking the halls looking for antibiotics and a doctor, you're actually stepping into a hot zone. And not just a couple of zombies. We're talking ground zero for the outbreak in most cases. Even if the infection hasn't fully claimed the building yet, hospitals are a nightmare to navigate. Long hallways, countless rooms, and often unreliable lighting turn them into a maze where the prize at the end is either a locked door or a room full of fresh corpses. If you're serious about surviving and not becoming a background extra in a horror movie, cross hospitals off your list. Number 1, malls. And finally, we reach the top of the worst list, the mall. The holy grail of bad zombie survival ideas. If I had $1 for every person who said, "I'd just live in a mall," I could probably buy one and shut it down myself. Let's tear that fantasy apart with a little logic, shall we? Sure, malls are massive, and yes, they have supplies, though most of it will be brands and items you don't really need when the world's falling apart. But here's the kicker. They also come with a ridiculous number of entry points. Glass walls, giant front doors, loading docks, skylights, all of them acting like zombie welcome mats. Securing a mall would take nothing less than a small army. Most of the food inside will be frozen, spoiled, or locked behind restaurant doors. Unless you're planning to live off stale pretzels and ancient candy, you're not going to eat well. And as for the generators, you're looking at maybe a day or two of power before the lights go dark, the freezers shut down, and you're left wandering a massive, pitch-black building filled with echoes and blind corners. And don't forget, malls are almost always in heavily populated areas. That means when the outbreak hits, there's a good chance it's already swarming with zombies. Worse yet, it could be turned into a designated emergency shelter, which means every survivor and every infected was sent there. Bottom line, it's not a fortress. It's a trap dressed up as a survival plan. Quick recap. Rooftops, no protection from weather, dangerous ways down if you're cornered, and no steady food or water supply. Sporting goods stores. Everyone has the same idea, leading to violence and chaos over limited resources. Graveyards, poor visibility, too many shadows, uneven ground, no supplies, no real shelter. And yes, it's literally where the dead are buried. Hospitals. Ground zero for infection, little food, confusing layouts, and almost no chance of walking out alive. Malls. Too many entrances, fragile defenses, spoiled food, echoing corridors, and usually overrun before you even get there. If this helped you dodge a terrible apocalypse plan, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and tell me in the comments which place you think is the ultimate death trap. Until next time, stay sharp, and whatever you do, stay out of the mall.